All right, bro. The time has come. I've got some explaining to do to you on what the fuck just happened over the last 3 years. Because trust me, a lot has happened, and I just had the best run of my life so far. And this was the thing that I was waiting for. And it was the thing I talked to you about all the time. It was the thing that we dreamed about and that we thought about. And it was like, when is this gonna happen? And we didn't always know what it looked like, but I knew it would come. And 3 years ago, when I made the last update video, I started this. I started down the path of what is today Actualize and what is my life as of now. And the fact that I truly have built my dream life and I'm living it right now. And so the time is right. I've been excited to create this video, but the timing wasn't right until now. There's a number of reasons for that, but we won't get into that just yet. Again, we were doing these journey videos, and I did about 11 of them, and the last one stopped 3 years ago when I first started Above Men. Now it's Actualize, which is one of the updates. I changed the name. And so in this video, I want to give you an update on what I've been up to in the last 3 years, because there's a lot that has happened. But the most important piece is I built my dream life. I had gotten really clear on what this could look like, and it happened. And so in this video, I want to share with you how over the last 3 years since the last update, this went down. And I want to go over a few things. So I'm going to go over the evolution of me and what has gone on to give you some context on how this came to be. And I want to share a bit of a timeline via the YouTube videos that I do have out there that you could go and watch if you're interested, dude. And then the last piece is, what you can actually expect from me on my channel moving forward, because I'm making this video as a commitment, as a recommitment to creating great content for you here on the channel. So I built my dream life. Here's how it happened, what I've been up to in the last 3 years. So first and foremost, I need to give you some background because it's been a while, okay? And since the last time we spoke, it was around here, okay? It was around here. And I realized in this video right here, I realized that what I tried to create with Above Club was very much the thing I was supposed to be doing. The vision just needed a bit of tweaking, and the vehicle in which I were to pursue the vision and the mission needed to be changed from doing a startup on selling red light panels and health products to a coaching business. And so when I realized that, I ended up leaving Your Story, which was the video production agency that I but joined in as a partner with Colin and Braden, and it was incredible. But inevitably, it brought me to realizing my purpose, which was Above Club, and bringing that vision back to life, which would then eventually become Above Men, and beginning the Above Men coaching program. And that would be the start of everything from this point forward. And so, which is interesting here, because in these videos, at April 2022, was when I started thinking about what's next for me, because there came a time, which I think it was in this video, I kind of voiced it, that Colin and Braden wanted to go one way with the agency and I wanted to go another way. And so when that decision was made, and inevitably it was their agency, they'd build it for 2 years prior for me to coming in, I was like, okay, well, this isn't it, and there's something else bigger for me. And I started to think about it, and I have this video which you can go and watch that gives you a rundown on where my mind was at. And these videos are really interesting. These 3 videos are really interesting to watch my mindset at that point and what I'm thinking about and how I'm thinking about things, and watching it start to bubble and percolate. And so that was April 22. October in 22, I figured it out. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go all in on this thing called Above Club, now Above Men. And we did it. And in December 2022, I went all in, and I left Your Story fully, and I went all in because I not only started the coaching program, but I actually got my first 3 clients, all from Student Works, which, if you remember, Student Works is the painting program, an incredible program. I actually live with two guys from Student Works now, and the alumni network is super powerful. And I did the program for a year, so very full circle moment. So I got these 3 clients from them, from Student Works. And then from there, hit the all-time physique. That's not that important, but I did get jacked as fuck as soon as I started to go all in on coaching because it required me to show up as my best. But I created an entire course, and this course is insane for my first pass. And so I created Above Men 1.0, completed all the course content. I started to build up my client roster. I had about like 20 or so members or clients that I was coaching. I ended up doing one of the first retreats. And this is a really important point because the retreat started to allow me to think something is bigger than the coaching program. Because I realized when I started Above Men is I realized one very important thing that I was trying to do. Back to it from a meditation, and I won't get into it, but I had a meditation, and basically it showed me in this meditation that I needed to become the big brother I never had. That's why I'm here for you. And so my mission was set. I'm going to become the big brother that I never had. And the vehicle in which I thought I was going to do that was coaching. Okay? But shortly, as soon as I started to get into it, I'm like, I don't think this is it. But the mission stays the same. How can I become the big brother I never had? How can I create a blueprint and a container and a set of products and services to serve you, to step into the best version of you and be the big brother? And so when I did the first retreat, I felt it. I felt the bigger picture. And this is actually, foreshadowing into where I am today and the business that is actually taking us to the next step. So I did the first retreat, and you can watch this video. It was in October 23. I hosted it in August 23 and then published it here. This is a cool video. I would highly recommend posting it. We also, at the time, did a little rebrand. Look at Above Men, boom. It was way cleaner. This was an amazing opportunity, and it showed me, and I didn't fully understand it at the time, but it showed me 2 things. How important IRL was. How important, and this is post-COVID now, how important bringing people together, bringing guys together in the room. And the second piece is that community is more important than the coaching, because the coaching only will go so far if the community isn't there once the coaching is completed. So I recognized that, but I didn't fully acknowledge it and make decisions around it yet. So we did well. The first year of business, 36 men after the first year of business, 150,000 in rev. Gross volume was on 85, but like 150K in rev, all things said and done. Not fucking bad for your first year, dude. You crushed. So it was pretty cool. Made a full-time living for myself. It was an incredible year, and it really took me to another level. In 2024, I ended up doing my first half Ironman and in the first foray into a Masogi, which I've now changed completely what a Masogi really means to me, but I did a Ironman, which was really, really cool. Half Ironman, I should say. One of the toughest things I'd ever done up until this point. I ended up going viral on Instagram, and I blew up in a matter of 3 weeks, almost 300,000 followers. And it actually threw me for a major loop, but it opened a few doors that were really important for my story up until now. But I went viral, and I went viral on a number of pieces of content, but specifically these whiteboard pieces of content. And one of the reasons why it was a distraction is because I started to gain followers from all over the place because it was very generic content on nutrition. And so men, women, all sizes, all demographics were following me, and it pulled me away from the vision of becoming the big brother that I never had. And for a while there, I didn't know who I was. And it was kind of a scary place because I had all this momentum and things were going so good on the outside. And everyone was reaching out to me. He's like, bro, this is crazy. What the fuck's going on? Kudos. And on the inside, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I don't like this. And I don't like that I started to cater to the women and cater to young people or old people and cater to, guys that I didn't align with. And so I had to pause and I actually fully stopped posting content. I kind of got freaked out. But in the end, the one thing that allowed me to do is it gave me the confidence to launch my community, to launch Actualize Academy, which is the very thing that we're building now. But it took a long time to get to where we are today versus where it is now. But but it gave me the confidence. And so through all of that, it gave me a lot of really important elements. It gave me pushback to get clear on what was most important to me, because it gave me the opportunity to fucking go and serve anyone that I wanted to in my audience, that I had men, women, old, young, 9-to-5ers, entrepreneurs, everyone in between. So it gave me the opportunity to serve a much larger market. And I'm like, whoa, wait, this isn't for me. I'm here to serve the younger version of myself, to be the big brother. And so when I felt this dissonance, this opportunity, and then came up with friction, I got that clear on what I wanted to do. And then that led me to having the confidence to launch Actualize Academy, which started out as a low ticket community that was going to be purely online. And I was going to create content. And the goal was to get 100 members paying me, $100, 1,000 members paying me $100 a month. And it was going to be great. I was going to just be able to sit behind my computer and yada, yada, yada. Obviously, that wasn't how it was going to go. But that led me to a bit of a drifting period. But in doing so, I started throwing some dinners, and I started to do this and that, and I hosted some more retreats that's not included in here. And it stumbled me to the next big pillar of my journey here, which was I met a very important individual in my life, Aaron Spivak. Shout out Aaron. And he was the founder of a company that called Hush Blankets, weighted blankets. He built and sold that in 4 years for $50 million. It was incredible and made a bunch of money, but he lost his health in the way, and kind of like lost his way of like, what the fuck's next for me, etc. And I invited him out to my dinner, and we ended up chatting, and then the next day I literally signed him as a client. We started to build a relationship over the coming months, and then next thing you know, he's asking me if I want to come live with him for potentially the next 30, 60 days in Toronto, and then he's going to move down to Miami. I'm like, fuck yeah, like that's an incredible opportunity. And Aaron was very well connected in Toronto, and this was at the time for my coaching business, like this is an incredible client to have, and it really raises the standard, and that actually led me to getting a bunch of other clients. And so there was so much good stuff going on the coaching side, and in doing so, I had the academy starting to spin up, so I had this community going. I was still coaching, and now I was like doing this also one-to-one live-in thing with Aaron, coaching him. So I had like 3 different things going on, and my mind started to get spread a little bit, and I became a little distracted and a little bit complacent in progressing any one thing forward, truthfully. And I wasn't that confident either in anything that was going on with Above Men at the time, okay? I have this opportunity with Aaron. It's super exciting. There's a lot going on. We moved down to Miami together when he first moved down there. I'm living in with him, and he was running this company called Founders Club. And it just kind of switched from like a dinner series where they would just host other founders around the country into more of like a community where they started to like take a membership, an annual membership, and they started to build a bit more of an infrastructure. They had kind of like a Slack. They brought in a partner, yada, yada, yada. I saw this while I was living with Aaron, and we started to talk about it. I'm like, dude, like there's so much that I could assist with. We could bring my health systems into it, like the sales stuff. Like I have a ton of high ticket sales experience. Like I think this is cool. I think we can work together, da da da. And so we started to get in talks, like serious talks. And the next thing you know, like I'm taking sales calls, and I booted the sales guy, and I started to build all the sales infrastructure. And it quickly became what I thought was just going to be like me, the health guy, and Cam, Above Men, was going to come in and be the health guy for the club, to literally acting as a fractional COO for the club and taking it to the next level and building a lot of the infrastructure and the sales out and turning this thing into the next level of the community that it had the potential to be. And when I did that, I recognized that that was what I could see myself building for Above Men and going to the next level. And so in all of that, me, Aaron, and Chris, his co-founder, we really started to work together, and we really started to turn this thing up. We doubled prices, we turned a full sales funnel on, we hired sales guys, and it was going really well. In parallel to that, I was having a conversation with this guy, Tico Corin, who Tico was a guy that came into my coaching program, and when he first came on, he's like, hey dude, love what you're doing. I don't need the pitch. I want to know how I can work with you. I want to know. Like, I want in. And I appreciated that, and I've respected that a lot, and we've joked about it since. But that was 18 months prior to this all happening, because he was still working at StudentWorks and doing very well as a coach. And so we talked, and he was about to come on in January of 2025. And so through all this happening, I had the academy, my coaching, now working with Founders Club, and then I had this partner that was going to come in that I needed to like continue to feed and give him infrastructure for. So all of this stuff was going on. And at the same time, I was in a relationship that I really wasn't sure of, and there was just a lot that was like pulling me apart at this point in my life. And there was so much good going on, but at the same time, deep down, I felt drained. My soul, day after day, week after week, felt empty, and it didn't feel like I was in that place when I first started Above Men, and I was so fucking stoked, and that purpose was there, and there was something that needed to be done, and there was just a matter of time until I snapped. Okay, and so what went on amongst a ton of other things, but one of the cool things that went on that you can see here is a video that I captured while I was down in Mexico, where once I was living with Aaron, after I was living with Aaron, I already pre-committed to going living in Puerto Escondido down in Mexico for 3 months. And at the time, this is really where all of this like bubbled up to the point of, not explosion, but acceptance that all this shit wasn't gonna last, and I couldn't, be the fractional CEO of Founders Club and still run Above Men and bring a partner on and do the academy and da-da-da-da-da. And be in this relationship that I didn't really want to be in, but I didn't want to admit it to myself or to her. And so over these 3 months, it was incredible experience. But deep down, I was actually going through a really hard time. And I made some poor choices, and I just wasn't showing up as myself, even though the results were moving forward. Again, Founders Club was going well. We hosted a retreat in Tulum. I partnered with Tico, all this stuff. And then it just came, not crashing down, but it came to a final realization that I couldn't do it all, and I needed to strip it back. And I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, and that removed a lot of weight off my chest because I'd been holding on to that, and I had a lot of guilt around that to break up with her. I didn't want to hurt her. I really didn't want to let Aaron down because he was one of the first guys that like acted as a big brother to me, and that was really important because I always craved that. And he showed me, some really cool things and introduced me to an incredible group of people. And so that was really tough because I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to let Aaron down. And I'm gonna have to like leave this thing, even though that it's like a fucking rocket ship. And this business is destined for billions, which it is. It's on track to do some really big numbers. And I have so much respect for what they're building over there, and I wish them all the best. But I knew deep down my soul was suffocating because, again, I got distracted. And I got pulled away from doing the thing that I know that I'm supposed to be doing in this chapter, in this period of my life, potentially for the rest of my life, which is to become the big brother that I never had, and to serve young men, to serve the little brother, to serve you. And that wasn't it. Founders Club wasn't it. They were serving founders. They were serving men, women, all ages, all sizes, and that wasn't me. And I couldn't unleash my vision that was bottled up and just constantly in here onto that. And I couldn't go all in on the thing that I knew I needed to. And I couldn't serve Tico. And the fact that Tico was willing to commit to me and to this mission, and I wasn't giving him full commitment. It wasn't fair, and my life just kept feeling like it was pulling and pulling and pulling. And so I left Founders Club, and I broke up with my girlfriend. I more or less like shut down the academy for a short period of time, and I fully was just like absent from it. And I started having guys in the academy that were paying me money. Be like, hey bro, like, is everything good? Like, we haven't heard from you. You're not really doing anything in the community. Like, I want to pay you. I love what we're doing, but it's like nothing's going on. And so I came to that realization. I quit Founders Club, and I recommitted to my highest purpose. And it was a big, big lesson for me. And it was one of the most important things that could happen because, to recap, when I was in Founders Club and I sat with what was going on and what was being built early stages, and then I built my vision on top of Founders Club, and I went and studied, and I went and built with him, the guys. I realized this is it. This is what I need to build towards. And when I faced the truth that I wasn't going to be with Founders Club, it reaffirmed once again, from going viral and having the opportunity to be like, no, then going and doing Founders Club and then realizing, no. It just locked me in to the mission and the vision that I'm on today. And so it was one of the best things that could ever happen to me, even though at the time, deep down, my soul was suffocating. My soul was like grasping for air. So when I went back all in, it was like, oh my God, a breath of fresh air. The vitality started to kick back up. That ended 2024. Tico moved in full time with me at the start of 2025, and he officially came on in the business, and we started growing it as a coaching business still. Thinking in the background, we moved back to Toronto. I was living in Vancouver prior to all this. I moved to Toronto after leaving Mexico and Miami. Moved back to Toronto because I'm like, I know we got to do more in-person stuff, but we were still doing a coaching business. We're like, okay, we need to do in-person stuff with this coaching thing, and we started to move in this direction. So we moved in together, which is amazing. And then shortly after that, about 2 months into moving in together and into going all in on this, is we actually made a name change from Above Men to Actualize. And this was a huge one, because this got us really fucking clear on what we're actually here to do. Because Above Men, it was a good name, but it didn't nail what we were really trying to do. And so shout out Mike Fata, who's in this photo here with Jay Carls, Aaron, and myself. During these first couple of months, I had a conversation with Mike, and he's like, dude, Above Men's good, but if you want to take this to the size you're telling me you want to, you need a better name, and you need a name that just nails what you guys are trying to do. At the time, I just started to get clear on what we really were trying to do. And I really came to love what self-actualization really stood for, and understood that, oh my God, like that is the thing I've been going after. That is the thing that I've resonated with the most. And the more I studied Abraham Maslow and his work, like that is what we're here to do. And I wanted to make that our entire brand. I wanted to be known for self-actualization and make it the epitome of our brand. So literally one morning in deep work, literally an hour in, I'm like, oh my God. Just after a day before we started, me and Tico were like, yo, I think we got to change the name. And we're like, holy fuck, this is it. Actualize it. Deep work, boom, Actualize, that's it. Changed the name, got super clear on what the mission was, and that has now carried us to where we're at today. We did a brand change, especially now, like another further brand change with our head of media that's come in and helped us, shout out Yarrow. Branding upgrade, gained a ton of clarity on the mission, which is to help guys self-actualize, become the best version of themselves, close the gap between who you're capable of being versus who you're actually being. Exactly what I would have wanted out of my big brother. Next, big thing that ended up happening, because we're still coaching at the time. You know, we're still trying to build a coaching business. We're getting coaching clients, but it's still scattered. We're doing some marketing, but it's tough. The summer starts to roll around, and we launched this ad. And this ad, more or less, changed everything for us. This ad became the North Star for what is now our business today, as Actualize, as the Actualize Academy, as we relaunched it. We launched this ad promoting Sunday Club, which is our weekly group workout and mastermind session that we run here in Toronto, now in Vancouver and London and other cities. In a matter of 4 weeks, we had 400 leads at $1.62 a lead to come out to Sunday Club. And there was an overwhelming desire to come out to this thing. And so we're like, holy shit, we got something here. And then shortly after that, we had to pause the ads. We had to build all the infrastructure and be like, there's so much demand here. I think we can make this our business. And so in the following months, in the summer of 2025, we pivoted the business model and went all in on a membership community. And we stopped the coaching completely. To this day, now a year later, we don't do any coaching. Not a year later, it's 7 months. It's crazy to say. We pivoted the business model. We closed out all the coaching clients, and we went all on a membership. We built all the infrastructure, the onboarding, and we're like, we can do it. We can do it. You know, I knew with Founders Club and what I saw there and what I built there and the vision I'm like, I knew we wanted to get there at some point, but I didn't know how and when and what that would look like for us. And then when Sunday Club came around, it was like, this is it. This is what we're going to do. And so I took my learnings from Founders Club, paired with my vision of becoming the big brother that I ever had and wanting to help young guys, and turned it into the relaunch of Actualize Academy. And we started slowly, we started organically, and it started to build up. And then we went all in on the membership community, and which is now the main thing. And so over the 6 months it started, and we took our first clients at the end of June, started July. So from July to the end of the year, we went crazy. We launched a bunch of new ads. The ads crushed, cold traffic, brand new offer, and we just started bringing guys in left, right, and center. I was taking 40 sales calls a week at one point. Then we got, our first setter, and then we were testing a bunch of different models. We would have guys over at a house every week doing the onboardings in person, and then it was madness, and it was so fun. Maybe I'll show you a bunch of other videos as we get into the content. But then we finished the year off, which was crazy. You can see here, this is when we started right here. And we finished the year off with $279,000 in revenue just 6 months into the launch of this new model. And we grew to 200 members. And this just blew the doors open to what really is now my dream life. So as this all was happening, we had some super cool stuff happening, but I'll get into that here in a sec. But so we grew the revenue to 200 members. We grew the community to 200 members. We did 279,000 in revenue just in 6 months of launch, and did them in Muskogee. That's for another time. You know, that was insane. Now we're here today. So this is where it takes us to today, February 2026. So that was the end of the year. We closed out the year powerfully, and we're finishing the year off now with myself, Tico, who is managing the full membership team. So basically like our sales department. We have Yarrow, who is our head of media. We have Angie, who's our community director. And then we have 2 closers and a part-time closer, and then 3 setters, I believe. We have a team. We are growing now at a really good rate. We have about 50 to 60 guys coming in a month right now. We are at 230-ish people, or members in the community, and things are growing. So things are growing, and this is where we're at today, is we run a membership community for young entrepreneurial men to build brotherhood and become their best self. We do that through 6+ monthly in-person events in all the active city chapters that we run, global trips and retreats, mentorship and masterminds, weekly accountability, and most importantly, a brotherhood for life. That's what we're building here, and we are truly building the #1 community for young entrepreneurial men in North America, point blank. No one else is doing it like we're doing, in the way we are doing it, with the infrastructure and principles that we are building it. Okay, there's a ton of other entrepreneur clubs out there. They're great. We're building something very unique for the man that right now is typically entrepreneurial. He's ambitious, because that's exactly who I was, and I'm building for you. So I'm really excited with where we're at. We're going on 32 minutes here, and 32 minutes in 3 years is pretty good. So I'm on track. So that's where we're at. That's where we got to. And some of these videos are really, really good. I'd recommend going and watching these and catching up on what's been going on. But that's where we're at. And now I want to talk about what you can expect on my channel if you were to subscribe and get a sneak peek of what you can expect. So #1 is education. Okay, so these kind of videos. You can go and watch this. One of my best ones that I really lately. Stop sacrificing today for a dream you'll never achieve. So in the education bucket, this is the thing that I'm most passionate about, and the thing that I believe I have a calling to do. I feel like this is one of my superpowers, is to teach and educate. There's 3 main domains that I've gotten really clear on that you can expect from me in what you'll see on this channel. Domain #1 is all things self-actualization. It is the pursuit of the ultimate aim in life, which I believe is self-actualization. Becoming all that you can be, closing the gap between who you're capable of being versus who you're actually being. That's #1. There's a ton that goes into that, and I'm going to be breaking down in the upcoming videos a lot of the philosophy and the big picture stuff, so you can understand all of the areas that you would want to consider in the pursuit of your best self. There's a lot of foundational elements that all guys can take from in order to self-actualize. That's #1. #2 is community. So I, as an entrepreneur and as someone who runs a community for entrepreneurial men, I want to start to give you more of the business side of me. I've been an entrepreneur now for 3 years. I've been a on-off entrepreneur, not a ton of success, for about 8 years, 10 years now. But the last 3 years I've been profitable. I've made a living full-time off this, and I've learned a lot. But I haven't really talked about my business side and like how I see business and pretty unique views that I have. And specifically, my business of choice now is community and the art and science of bringing people together. So I'm not only going to be educating you on community, networking, which I think is an incredible skill that all guys should try to lean into, is developing community and being a great networker. But also, I'm going to pull back the curtain on how to create a great community business and the things that are working for me. And then on top of that is looking at just building a business and how I'm looking at building a business and the infrastructure that we're putting in place and the weekly systems and how me and Tico, as co-founders of this machine, are working together, and the fact that I'm the visionary and he's the integrator, and how it works so well, and what we look for, and how do we keep off each other's toes. So there's so much there that I just have never spoken about, and I'm continuing to realize like I've done a lot, and I know a good amount when it comes to building a business because of where we've gotten to and the mentors that I've had in my life. And the last piece is men. Point blank, men. That is the other domain that I'm going to be educating on. And so I'm going to be educating on you and the masculinity in its nature. So the very thing that makes you a man. And I found this very fascinating. I've been studying this a lot, and I want to help you unpack what's inside of you to help you better understand yourself, how you see the world, how you tick, and all the bits and pieces that come along with that. That kind of ties into women and how the masculine interacts with the feminine and all that good stuff. So these are the three main domains you'll see me talking on. So education is number one. Number two, which I'm really excited for, especially the business and that we're doing, and it's such a collaborative and fun thing that we're building with the community. It's crazy I got to do this for work, is the Build in Public and the vlogs. So taking you behind the mission. And these come in three buckets. The Build in Public updates, so sharing the progress of our community startup growth, because I'm treating this like a business first and foremost. And on the outside, it is a community and it's a mission that we are growing, but it needs to be a fucking profitable machine if we want to take this mission to the nth degree, and we want to take it globally, which that's our intention. So I'm going to share with you what we're building, what's going on, the ins and outs of it, inside the community. So I think one of the best parts about what we got to do is do fucking sick shit. Sick events, trips, retreats. You know, we just threw a 60-person party at our place, at our Actualize HQ, which is right here, with no phones. And, you know, we did a co-ed event. It's one of the first of our kind, and it went incredible. And we captured it all. And we're going to be putting out a vlog on it. And it's going to be so fun to share with you what's going on inside the community. We got a Whistler trip that we're going to be dropping, just so much stuff. So that's inside the community. And the last piece is my personal life. So from the POV of me, the founder and CEO of the company, what does it actually take to personally lead a startup, and what's going on? This is going to be more like raw videos that's probably just going to be face to cam and sharing my inside thoughts in my mind to you as potentially an aspiring entrepreneur or someone that wants to lead a mission that you really feel called to. Those videos are going to be from you. And I have an example of kind of what some of these could look like. This is one of the day in the life videos that I dropped. The last piece, and what I think is going to be a really, really impactful element, because it's been proven in our mentor masterminds inside the community, is the Boy to Man podcast. And this is the podcast where I help you go from boy to man in mind, body, heart, and soul. I should say in mind, through the stories and experiences of men who have done it. So I'm going to go out and interview guys that display mastery in their life. And BQ is a great example of that. He is an incredible dude. He has built the largest pest control company in all of Canada through door-to-door sales. Incredible. So I would also give that a watch as well, but you will get a lot more podcasts from me starting very, very soon. So that said, this is a 38-minute video. That is crazy because I feel like I've been talking for 5 minutes. But that's how I built my dream life, brother, in the high level, and I got you caught up on what's happened over these last 3 years in a very, very quick speed run. So if you're still listening, thank you. It means a lot, honestly. It means you care, and it must mean also that I'm doing something right, that you want to listen in on what's going on in my world. So I'll catch you on the next one, in which I'm going to start to break down the high-level review of Actualize in the actual mission not the mission we are on, but our philosophy and the manifesto on how we see the world right now and what we're trying to fight against. So lots of good stuff. Subscribe, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Cam Russell if you want to know more about what we got going on inside of Actualize. And here's to becoming the big brother that I never had. Cheers, bro.